We're going to give them a judgment for their full amount of $2,047.42. That's going to be a favor to you because that's the amount that you've got to pay off before you get evicted. If I wait until May, that figure is going to be up around the $3,000 mark, and you don't have that. So, finding no tribal issue.
The judge has heard the tenant's explanation, but now the courtroom reaches a critical moment. The tenant says he has just returned to work and wants more time, yet the judge has a very different problem. The unpaid balance keeps growing. What happens next isn't simply about money. It's about whether the court can give him more time without unfairly delaying the landlord.
And where are we on this case?
Total due with cost, Your Honor, $2,047.42.
All right. How are you intending on getting that paid, sir?
Your Honor, I do not owe 2,047 cents. I only owe maybe the month of March and April. I had $800 to pay them for March. They refused, that they want $900 and something, which I didn't have. So I used that money to pay other bills. The thing is, we give them $300 today. I just started a new job on Monday this week. The fact that I was laid off since November.
Let me ask you this. How much do you think you owe?
The case immediately centers on one major question. How much does the tenant actually owe? The landlord side presents a total of more than $2,000, while the tenant disputes that number and says he believes the balance is much lower. He explains that he'd been out of work since November and has only just started a new job, setting up the financial conflict at the heart of the hearing.
Your Honor, monthly rent is $706, but he also pays an amenity fee of $77. So 706 plus 77, 783 for that portion. Then there are water sewer charges. Those are based on usage, but his are particularly low. So I would say less than $30 a month.
Okay.
Probably around $20 to $30 per month based on the usage.
Now the judge starts breaking the numbers down piece by piece. The monthly rent includes a base amount, an amenity fee, and additional water and sewer charges. This matters because the judge isn't simply accepting one side's figure. He is testing the numbers himself. The tension rises as the court tries to determine what the tenant actually owes before deciding what should happen next.
Frankly, Your Honor, let me go back. Now I'm curious about these water sewer charges. They've been pretty consistent at that rate. I don't know if this water sewer charge is because he does not have water turned on at the home, or if this is just because he has very low usage. But I would say $25, $25 to $30 covers that. So we're looking at close to $800 a month for the base charges. There are late fees and obviously the court costs, which court costs are $187.
$187.
That is correct.
So, sir, if you owe 2 months, and even if I take the $25 and not even including any late fees, so I have $783 plus 25, which is going to get me to $818 a month.
Your Honor, it's quite here, $783.
Pardon?
This is the document they give to me.
Are you talking about the complaint?
Yes, sir.
The complaint indicates, Your Honor, that he owes $983.04, and that was what was due as of March 20th.
Correct. That's what was due in March.
And that didn't
look down
include
at the
court
very
fees,
bottom.
Judge.
Look down at the very bottom and look at the date that it was signed.
Your Honor, yes, I saw it here, 983.04. I'm wondering, how did it get there?
How did what get there?
900, because that's not what I...
Well, hold it. That's not what I'm looking at right now. what I'm looking at right now is,
This becomes a major turning point. The judge goes back to the months the tenant admits he hasn't paid and calculates the minimum balance from those figures. Instead of arguing about every disputed fee, the judge focuses on what can be established from the information already presented. The gap between the tenant's understanding and the amount claimed by the landlord is now impossible to ignore.
your base rent each month, you say you haven't paid March and April, that you would owe for 2 months.
Correct, sir.
So when I add that up, and that's why we were going through the figures, that's about 818 just minimally that would be owing for those 2 months.
What I'm trying to get, Your Honor, is
Hold on. No. We're not going to go down that path. Because then what that would do is that brings me to $1,636 that's owing, that you admit to owing. And then they're going to have court costs of $187. So minimally, what I have here, it's 12. I have $2,023 that you admit, or did I do that? Yes, I did. That you admit is owing. And that's $2,023. They say you owe $2,047.47.
The judge now puts the real pressure on the situation. He acknowledges that the tenant has been unemployed and understands that life can create unexpected financial problems. But the court also has to consider the landlord's position. Every new month adds another amount to the balance, making the problem harder to solve. The tenant promises payments are coming, but the judge needs a realistic solution now.
But the grand reality is this has to be paid, and you're not telling me how it's going to be paid. That's going to be reasonable for the landlord to do, because each time that you're not paying and it clicks over the first of the month, there's $818 that lops onto this.
Yeah, Your Honor, as I said, I'm going to give them a check this evening for $300. I will do the best I can. If I get paid on the 61st paycheck, I will give them $1,000. In 2 weeks after that, I'll pay the balance.
The final decision is more complicated than a simple win or loss. The judge grants the landlord possession, but also locks in a lower figure through April and gives the tenant until the end of the month to try to pay or negotiate. The judge makes it clear that he cannot simply impose a payment plan when the landlord has not agreed to one. Both sides leave with something to deal with.
Your
You're going
Honor,
to grant
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I don't think there's any need to do that. I will do what I
to do
can
what?
to give them a judgment.
I don't have a choice. What would you want me to do?
I want to make a payment plan then.
Okay, but you haven't gone into the landlord to get a payment plan. I can't just make a payment plan. And I can't ask the landlord when 2 months haven't been paid to now wait till the next month clicks in before they're going to get any substantial payment. I can't do that.
Okay.
And I can't do it, so that you understand, I can't do that because I got to be fair, try to be fair to both sides as best I can.
Definitely.
I understand what you're saying about when you can pay. I get it. But the problem is they can't, I don't know how they're to wait. And then the money that you had, even though it wasn't the full amount that you were giving, I get there are other bills that come up, but then when I say, well, where's that money that you say the landlord wouldn't take, you don't have it.
Yeah, I have to use to pay all that bill because
No, sir, I understand. I get how life works. I get that. But I can't, I can only do but so much.
Oh.
So what I'm going to do at this point is at least try to lock in the lower number, that if you can come up with the $2,047, you can get that paid and still maintain your housing. If I wait until
I mean,
May.
the funny thing is that I have mortgage I'm paying on the property.
I know.
This just their land fees. You understand me? So I'm paying like about 1,500. Even the land fees is still more expensive than the mortgage I'm paying, which is very questionable. But I will do the best I can, I said, to pay it off.
Here's what I'm going to suggest to you. I'm going to grant a judgment to the plaintiff for possession. I'm going to lock in this lower figure, which is going to take it through April. I'll extend the writ date to 1 day out to April 30th. So I'm going to give it to the end of the month to try to get this paid or work something out with the landlord. All right. So I suggest you go in and talk to him and tell him what you can do and see if you can work something out. If not, you're going to have to try to figure out this $2,000.
This hearing shows how quickly unpaid rent can become a much larger legal problem. The tenant had a new job and a plan to make payments, but a promise alone was not enough for the court to create a payment agreement. The judge tried to balance both sides while giving the tenant one final opportunity to resolve the balance. Do you think the judge made the right call? Let us know in the comments. And remember, in court, timing can matter just as much as money.